Course 3, Lesson 18 is about lines and angles. This is going to be pretty quick. We are just looking at some of our different lines and angles and naming them. So if a line has arrows at the end showing that it goes on forever and ever, we call that a line. If we have that one that stops at one point but goes on forever on one side, we call that a ray. And if it just stops on both sides, we just have a part, then we call that a segment. Parallel lines are ones that will never touch, they'll never meet. They're going in the same direction, and a lot of times we see these as lines that have the same slope. They go on forever and ever on both sides. Whereas perpendicular lines cross in a very specific way. These perpendicular lines go on and on forever, but what's important is that they have a 90-degree angle. 90-degree angle. So if it's not a 90-degree angle, then it's not a perpendicular line. Okay? It must have 90 degrees. We have another type of line. It's called skew lines. These are on different planes. So imagine you have different planes going on. Like a coordinate grid, you have that plane. Okay? And you have a line going on that plane. Imagine this in 3D. Okay? And on another plane that's in another part, we have another line. Okay? Another plane, another line. Now, if these planes, if the lines never intersect, if they go on forever and ever and ever and never intersect, they are called skew lines. Now, this doesn't happen with every plane and every line, but a lot of times we do have two different planes where they don't intersect. Going on, we can look at some angles, because angles are formed with two rays with the same endpoint. So we have a ray starting here going this way, and a ray starting here going this way. We call that angles. An acute angle is a specific type which has less than 90 degrees. Can't be 90, but it has to be less than. Obtuse is an angle which is between 90 and 180. All right, can't be 90, can't be 180, it has to be somewhere in between. So if this is a acute, I can't spell today, acute angle, and this is obtuse. Okay, this one is less than 90, this one is over 90, but under 180. Right angles, okay, we can see an example right here. A right angle is exactly 90 degrees. Okay, it's part of our perpendicular lines. And a straight angle is just a straight line, which it measures exactly 180 degrees. So we would just see a line like this. That would be a straight line. Now we can look at some of these angles that we have. We can name parts of it. We can say this is a side, another side, and the vertex is where those rays meet. So with our obtuse angle, this is our vertex. And we have our different sides. This is a side, and this is our other side. Now when we look at the one that has our different letterings, okay, A, B, and C, this is because we have different ways to name our angles. If we want to know this angle right here of 2, we could say that that is angle A, B, C. We use all three letters, or we could name it angle C, B, A. But what's important is that we have all of the letters that connect, and our B is in the middle of our name, always in the middle of our name. So that vertex never starts or ends the name, it's always in the middle. So if we have an example right here of X, Y, and Z, well, if I want this angle right here, we would say that could be angle X, Y, Z, or angle Z, Y, and X. Okay, always following along to have that Y in the middle. Okay, so be sure to know how to name your angles. Moving on, we can also talk about circles when we talk about degrees, and a full circle is 360 degrees. So we can take that 360 and cut it up into different parts. If we just have half of a circle, that's 180 degrees. If we have just a quarter, that's 90 degrees. If we have 3/4 all the way, then that means that we have 270 degrees. So we can take parts of a circle and talk about those degrees as well. So So just to practice, we have our acute angle, which is less than 90 degrees, our obtuse angle, which is between 90 and 180. We have a straight angle, which measures exactly 90 degrees, okay, or sorry, a right angle, which measures exactly 90 degrees, and a straight angle, which is exactly 180. Now, sometimes these get paired up. We call these either linear pairs or supplementary angles. Supplementary, let's see if I can spell supplementary, there we go. They always form 180 degrees. So in this case, if we have TSR, that's 35, and QSR, it's 145, those will add up to 180. So we have a linear pair or supplementary angles. But what if we only have angles that add up to 90, like, I don't know, 35 and 55? Well, we call those complementary, because they add up to 90 degrees. Complementary. Okay, which add up to 90 degrees. Okay, so complementary, they add up to 90. Supplementary, they add up to 180. What do we use to measure angles? That would be this protractor. And how you use this is if we have this angle TSR, I'm going to line up my protractor along one of these lines here. Okay? And then I measure from that line, starting with 0 always. We're going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We get to my other line. So we see that this angle is 50 degrees. Let's say we have another angle. Okay, right here. Angle right here. And this is angle Q. Well, the measure of angle QSR, we're going to say, all right, we start here and we start with 0. And we say, all right, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. That's 130 degrees, which is good because those add up to 180 degrees. Well, here are a couple more practice problems if you want to try them out, naming some of these things and seeing their measures. I hope this was helpful for homework and for studying.